Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and you'll never guess it. It shows so shocking that even Nova had to arrive. We have yet another problem in Hearthstone. It's that class up there at the top of the win rates in Standard. It's Paladin. It's only getting worse, and we're going to talk about exactly how Uther is terrorizing both Standard and Wild, and I think I'm terrorizing Nova, so we'll probably let her go. But what we're not going to let go of, at least not yet, is our giveaway going on for 3 mini sets out of my pocket to enter the giveaway. Like and comment in the video, link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribe to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get, and we are less than 50 away from that next 1,000, I will add another mini set to that giveaway. So hit that sub button, make me go broke, and that would also get us to 3,000 subscribers away from that brand Bronzebeard cosplay. So hit that sub button, make me go brand. By the way, my hair going a little bit crazy. I might be balding in the back, but the front's still going strong. Anyways, what are we talking about with Paladin? There's been a lot of complaints for about this card here, right? The whole Zarimi priest thing with Narlax. But I'm noticing those complaints are getting a little bit less, because what I've been talking about the past couple of weeks at Higher Legend has officially trickled down to across all ranks, with Paladin now taking over as the top win rate class in Standard. There's also the issue of Wild, where it has been absolutely dominant for months, especially when we have the reverts go live. We'll talk about that. At least in Arena, he sucks, so if you don't like Paladin, you can play Arena, but then you got Priest there, and actually, yeah, like I predicted, that update for Arena has made it so only Priest and Deathlight are winning. They're the only positive win rate classes. Sometimes this guy gets his analysis correct. So, yeah, Paladin, what's it doing right now? Why is it so freaking good everywhere? There are some commonalities between Standard and Wild, but with Standard, it's basically one deck. There is a Menagerie Paladin, but Shaladrassil Paladin. Basically, we'll go through a popular deck list to give you guys an idea of what we're talking about using HS Replay here, where it's all about, there's like a couple of main things going on that are just outright nutty in Standard. The first and most important, like the actual most busted part of the deck, is not actually the Ursol corrupting Shaladrassil and going like getting 3 waves of it and then going with Lanessa, and you could OTK with that type of stuff. That's absurdly good, obviously. But the main thing that really elevates it, if you look at like Mulligan win rate, is the holy spells with Flickering Lightbot. This card getting that 8 mana giant out for 0 as early as turns 4 and 5 made me tweet this meme that of like, you got 1 seaside giant, 1 0 mana giant out, we get another 0 mana giant. And we've known that historically in Hearthstone, that's been really good. We've had these giants dominating Hearthstone, I feel like, for the past 365 days, like since last core set rotation, right? We had Molten Giant, which had to get nerfed for Standard. It got reverted when it went back to Wild. We had the whole thing going on Seaside Giant and Flood Paladin, which got Flood Paladin nerfed. I mean, Ziliax came down for 0 all the time. Wasn't quite a giant, but did some pretty obscene stuff. We had the whole draw giant that was really busted in Rogue, so they nerfed like Ethereal and a lot of the card draw for that, plus Breakdance left, which helped eliminate that. And of course, as I mentioned, the location giant, and now we have basically another giant in Flickering Lightbot, right? Doing that thing. So that's really busted. And then you have the top part of it as well with Sea Shanty coming in for 0 mana, but I feel like that one typically comes at a point where it's more manageable. If you look at the Mulligan numbers for it, it's not like super strong. It's more the Lightbot, it's more the Ursol Shala thing, and that's what's really dominating. And yes, Flickering Lightbot is one of the best cards in the Wild list as well. But there, again, we'll talk about Wild at the later part in case you're not as interested in it. So that's what Paladin's really doing. They're cheating a bunch of mana. What a surprise. But they got healing, they got card draw, they have an insane late game value generator, and this is what's making it so kind of beats almost everything. We look at the matchup spread for this deck. There's not a lot of red. It loses to Rogue, which is one of the only other decks at High Legend that sees play. I'm currently playing there. It's Rogue, Paladin, and you have a bit of Demon Hunter, because Demon Hunter, I believe, beats Rogue, and then you have the people trying to beat the other stuff. Like, I play a lot of Starship DK. it beats Rogue, but it loses to Paladin. It loses, like, it's the whole rock, paper, scissors thing, right? Which is fine, that's Hearthstone. But you see, it doesn't lose to almost anything else. It loses to Rogue, some aggressive other Paladins, I guess some Hunter decks that don't see a ton of play, and that's really about it. I guess Demon Hunter can struggle against Crewmate and Menagerie, but destroys the big Demon Hunter, which is the most popular of the decks, right? So it's doing really well against everything. And when you take a look at Aegis Guru, where they compile like their decks, it's a scary picture here. Look at standard decks. That's what we're looking at here. Paladin, it's different versions of the same deck, to be fair. But we still have like Tree Paladin up there. It's kind of crazy to see how many of these decks are doing like really well. But if you look at the meta breakdown, it's like, look at this. It's yellow. Got Aggro Paladin with a tiny popularity, so sample size issues. Drum Paladin, Tree Paladin, Pure Paladin, there's Pure Paladin in Standard. What is that? It's like 1,800 games, but you see it's doing really well. Diamond through Legend, top 1K. It's the top deck there as well. We take a look at Legend. It's just doing really strongly, right? So Paladin kind of dominant, and it's been a thing. I feel like in Standard for so long now that Paladin is just crushing it, right? We had Hand Buff Paladin, which was good for like a year. We had Flood Paladin with the whole 2-mana, the 3/3s guys, that Prismatic Beam, that whole Flood Giant, the Flood Seaside Giant deck with Ziliax. That was top tier. The only thing they really missed out in the last year was StarCraft. Their cards just always feel so freaking good. They just feel so good. And they're always so good to the point where we look at Wild. Look what happens in Wild. In a Diamond through Legend, we got Libram Paladin doing really well, Call to Arms Paladin doing really well, Highlander Paladin, which is basically like Holy Wrath Paladin, Exodia Paladin doing well, and you got Holy Wrath Paladin there. You take a look at High Legend, the stats will be pretty skewed. You still have a bunch of decks, and it's even more crazy in Wild where it's not just one specific deck. All these decks, you could not nerf them all at once. It wouldn't work. You'd have to like go part by part, right? You have to look at like Holy Wrath, Flickering Lightbot possibly for Librams, but they have a bunch of other 0-mana cards, and then like Call to Arms. Like one of the big things that really kind of screwed things up with Wild was Paladin was already like a top tier class, and they reverted Showdown and they reverted Prismatic Beam, which just, I don't think that was the best decision to buff the best class in Wild, but yeah, that's where we're at, where it's almost like just play Paladin in Wild. So Uther is having his time in Standard in Wild right now, and the main reason being just, I would say the two main things that stand out to me are these. First, just the cards like Flickering Lightbot that cheat mana do absurdly good things, right? Those cards, they're just above the rest of everything else right now. All the other mana cheat stuff for the most part has been nerfed. The only thing you can kind of compare and why it competes is Harbinger, right? You play that early with Shadow Step, my favorite card, you've basically scam a giant board, right? Really early. And that can really help out against, well, anything, because you just win for free if you have that opening hand. And then Rogue has the other mana cheat card of Sandbox Scoundrel, which lets you play, let's say, Ashamain on turns 5 and 6 with like Shadow Step on that mini. Again, Shadow Step, my favorite card, but that's kind of the idea, right? Like, those are the reasons those are doing so well. And then Priest, as there's been a lot of complaints about Narrowlax, yeah, it cheats a bunch of stats and mana, but a couple turns later than these decks, and as a result, it's not competing at the highest of levels, so much that if you actually look at the, take a look at the meta, the popularity, for the first time in a long time, at least when I took a look, actually, it is still the most popular deck across all ranks, but if we look at the last week, this is way more important. This stat line is from the last patch, I believe. If you look at the last week, yes, Paladin has taken over in popularity over Zarimi Priest, and I expect that trend to continue as more and more people realize Paladin is extremely busted. So yeah, the mana cheat stuff I was mentioning, the other main thing that is really busted with Paladin, and this is, you see this in Wild in particular, is Paladin's inexplicable, insane ability to tutor specific cards. And we're going to have a video eventually on this, the problem with tutoring, like how strong it is. But you have like Ursine Maul, guaranteed to draw you your sea shanties, or guaranteed to draw you Ursol into Shala. You know, wouldn't be that consistent a combo, but you got a card like this that just lets you rip it every single time. And in Wild, the same issue exists there with Order in the Court. you just play that. You specifically draw either your Holy Wrath combo, your Uther Exodia combo, or Call to Arms. It's all the same deal. That's kind of what it is. When you make one of the inherent weaknesses of card games, and the way to try and basically card games balance themselves in a lot of ways, is card draw. The variance of card draw, when you make so many tutors or make really powerful ones, in particular with Paladin, you negate that balancing type of aspect of card games. You take that weakness of a deck away by just making it so consistent that you're always hitting these powerful things. On curve in particular, it just takes over. And Paladin's class identity lately is draw the highest cost card, or even like the cook or whatever. That 4-drop draws your highest and lowest, right? That's kind of been the idea for a while, and it's gotten to the point that each one of these decks, you look at every single format, they are driven a lot by these tutor draws. So much so, a really funny consequence of, we don't run Librams, or sorry, we don't play Imbue really in Paladin, but we still play Dragon Scale with one Imbue card just to draw a specific card with it. And we don't play Librams, but we play Libram of Clarity, because then we're guaranteed to draw a minion, which basically gets free mana cheat from this holy spell in Flickering Lightbot. We barely run any minions, so we're guaranteed to hit it, right? It makes everything so much stronger, and Paladin is abusing this more than anything, and it's my fear of basically tutors taking over Hearthstone. And when it works like this, it's really oppressive, and it makes every game super samey too at the same time, and so powerful that, yeah, we have seen Uther take over the game. And we'll see, will they scale back the, the mana cheat, the Lightbot? Will they scale back some card draw tutoring? I'm not sure, but at this point, I'm pretty certain to say Uther is going to get nerfed yet again, and I'm sure he'll just keep taking over and over again. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. Is Paladin out of control? What would you do to bring down Paladin? Or is it just fine and Zeddy is just saying everything's a problem because that's what he does? Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.